Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update every day. If you like this watch, you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Buy, trade, and sell luxury watches on thewatchbox.com. Yes, this does look an awful lot like Grand Seiko's tribute to the old 1019 Rolex Milgauss, and I do feel that was probably the designer's hero watch in conceiving the dial of this model. But in movement, in detail, in case, bracelet, and overall character, this one is straight out of Japan, redolent of national character and Grand Seiko's pride as a full manufacturer. There's a nod to Rolex, but make no mistake, this is not how Japan does a 1019 Milgauss. This is a timepiece that wears easy on my wrist. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and I have to say that this watch at 38.8 millimeters is one of the most wearable sports-style Grand Seikos I've encountered. It's slim, too, uncharacteristically at 10.8 millimeters thick. Because of the stepped case flank, it wears even thinner than that and will slide easily underneath the cuff. It's also wonderfully constrained across the wrist, as the lug-to-lug dimension is 46.7 millimeters, and even after you add in the solid end links to the bracelet, it's still 50.7. I endorse this watch for wrists as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. It's nicely made. Bracelet is thoughtfully detailed. There's probably a little bit of a nod to the Rolex Oyster here too, but it's done distinctly different. First, the intermediate links have a little bit more loft to them, as they have a small amount of height that vaults them above the flanking links. And then you'll note the interstitial spread, the little channels between them, are more distinct than on an Oyster. They're broader and they lend more of a sculptural individuality to each of the intermediate center links. You'll also note that there's a beautiful polished bevel along the flanks of the links themselves, something you will not find on any modern Rolex watch, as they've all basically gone to squared off machined profiles. The flanks are of high polish, and the removable links are removed by screws, so this watch offers a tremendous amount of value at an appealing price point. The clasp is not a dive style, but nor is it friction fit or clamshell secured. Grand Seiko does give you twin trigger release, which is how I like it. That gives you a high degree of certainty that the clasp will remain secure and closed when the watch is on the wrist. And this is a sports watch, 100 meters water resistant, long-legged by virtue of its 3-year power reserve, and of course with fully luminescent dial and a sort of quartered luminescent set of indices. This is a watch for all occasions as well as all times of the day. And I do mean all occasions, as this is a robustly anti-magnetic Grand Seiko, but I'm getting ahead of myself. It features what Grand Seiko describes as a polyhedron case form, so it's beautifully sheer and polished with an optically smooth Grand Seiko hand-applied tin plate Zaratsu polish. This is done by pressing the surface directly onto a rotating tin plate. You can see my fingerprints unfortunately marring the optically perfect flanks of this watch. It's amazing how Grand Seiko achieves this level of finish, as well as the side-to-side symmetry when both sides are effectively finished by nothing but hand pressure, eye, and experience. Now, the ends of the case are beautifully geometric and sculpted, and I do appreciate that polyhedron profiling. This is something else that gives the watch a distinctly Grand Seiko character and sets it apart from the mass of what you see in Switzerland. Now, about the dial, let's get a little closer and give ourselves some more light. I didn't do a great job of showing you those case flanks when the focus was out, so here, so you can get a better view. You'll also note that the timepiece features a wonderful countersunk profile, whereby the bezel itself is actually sunken into the case flanks to make the watch thinner overall, and I like how it ducks out and assumes a knife-edged profile with a polished flank in between the lugs on both sides. Now, the bezel is narrow, and it's met inboard by a stepped seconds and minutes ring that features Arabic numerals every 5 minutes, and it is a sort of metallic silver ringing a dial that is a matte black for anti-reflective qualities. The underside of the crystal is AR coated, and all of the indices are applied as well as being hand finished. There's a combination of satin finishing and diamond polish. There's also luminescence on the 4 corners and luminescence on the 2 primary hands at center. The hands at center, by the way, beautifully beveled with a polished surface on each flank. They're oversized Dauphine and glint and gleam in the light. Grand Seiko dials are equally, I would say, equally well made, on par with Rolex, and jointly in the mainstream, I'm talking outside the realm of enamel dials, cloisonné, hand-engraved, artisanal pieces, Rolex and Grand Seiko are at the top of the heap for dial detail from my perspective. Now you'll also note that there is no date, so this high quality dial is all business. Hours, minutes, seconds, and nothing more. Again, another tribute to another famous brand. The red graphics at 6 o'clock. You can see this is the pre-2017 dial. Anti-magnetic to 40,000 amperes per meter. Now, an ISO 764 anti-magnetic watch needs to be anti-magnetic to 4,800 amperes per meter. So this is 4,000 amperes per meter. It's not quite mil-Gauss, it's about 500 Gauss, as the mil-Gauss would be 80,000 amperes per meter, relatively speaking. Now, underneath the caseback, which is screwed in and solid and blazoned with the Grand Seiko line, there is the legendary 9F61. It is a super premium quartz system that would in fact have done Rolex proud back in the day when Rolex made chronometer certified quartz. This would pass the COSC standards for a quartz chronometer, as it's rated to plus or minus 10 seconds per year. A conventional quartz, including those that are thermocompensated, often rated to plus or minus 15 seconds per month, 10 seconds per year right here, and a COSC certified Swiss mechanical chronometer can be inaccurate to -4 plus 6 seconds per 24-hour period. The watch also features a screw-down crown that, when fully withdrawn, courtesy of the 9F's hacking function, will stop the seconds hand, allowing precise synchronization to a reference time. The movement features both a thermocompensation circuit, so it can resist the deviation effects of very high and very low temperatures that usually plague quartz movements. It also features a trimmer function, so your Grand Seiko watchmaker can adjust to account for the drift that occurs in quartz crystals over time. The trimmer allows the watchmaker to adjust the movement over time. This is a lifetime serviceable product. It's designed to last the life of the owner, not the life of the battery, not a reasonable period as an electronic device. This is designed to last as long as a mechanical watch. 9 jewels, watchmaker assembled, regulated, and when the time comes for an overhaul, watchmaker overhauled. It is an exceptionally precise and highly engineered sports car, I would even say supercar, of a quartz movement, because it features something I don't believe any other quartz caliber has, which is a spring-loaded lash adjustment system that ensures every single time the seconds hand precisely hits the index and stops instantly with no secondary movements, vibrations, or bob. That is the lash adjustment system. The system is quite honestly the best quartz caliber you can buy. It's extraordinary, it's singular, and since 1994, the 9F series has been proprietary to Grand Seiko. You can see and you can purchase this Grand Seiko anti-magnetic Sportster on the watch box. And I'm back with the Grand Seiko SBGX093 anti-magnetic. As you can see, robustly luminescent by night. This is a timepiece that, short of something like a vintage Omega Marine chronometer, represents something approaching the ultimate in luxury quartz. See it and make it yours on the watch box.